Hello, hello. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Driven by Christ Auto. This is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. If y'all are interested in playing this game, the first few videos that I've made go over how to set up everything, how to do all the scrapping, all the rigmarole. We done got that all out of the way, so from here on out, we're going to be building cars and taking care of our customers. But we're going to share some words today from Jesus. My shepherd king, your word tells me that you are my shield for all who take refuge in you. So I draw near you, Lord, and I find shelter under the umbrella of your shielding presence. Sometimes I feel unprotected and exposed to danger. This happens when I crawl out from under your protective presence and try to face the world on my own. I do this unconsciously, forgetting the essential truth that I need you in every moment of my life. Please use the fear I feel at such times to alert me that I have wandered away from you. Then point me to the remedy, taking refuge in you. I am so grateful that you are my shepherd. You're always vigilant, and you know exactly what is on the path ahead of me. You anticipate perilous situations and prepare me for them. Because you're a masterful shepherd, you can shield me from danger so skillfully that I remain blissfully unaware of it. Moreover, you are totally trustworthy, the only absolute good shepherd. As I seek to follow you and your ways, I thank you for protecting me from both danger and fear. In your sheltering name, Jesus' name, amen. Alright, this comes from 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 31. Psalms 23, verse 1. And John chapter 10, verse 11 through 14. Alright, guys, so yes, Jesus is our shield. If you ever have a day that you're scared of something's going to happen, pray to Jesus. He will come through for you, even for little children. You know, if y'all get scared about something now, if y'all done something wrong and you scared, now you got a reason to be scared. But, you know, if somebody's being ugly to you and you're afraid of something bad happening, pray to Jesus. He will protect you and avoid conflict. Alright, guys, so last time we was on here, I know y'all can see that the shop got remodeled. Yes, we did remodel the shop. Remember I told you about that ordeal here. I'll show you where it is. You go to the toolbox, you R1 over, and it's this one right up here, the garage expansion. Anyways, if you buy it, the deal to access that is right here in this corner. It's you know, you come in through the shop door, your two racks, it's going to be right here. It's this. This is how you customize it. You know, I wanted my theme to be stainless steel, blue, and white. The only reason why I did the floor black here is because whenever you're putting the cars together, you really want a dark background. That way you can see the glowing parts easier. Just makes it finding parts a lot easier. So, alright, we done opened up the doors, you know, we go over there, turn on our air compressor just like you would in a real shop, fire up the computer, check any voicemails. So let's see who we got waiting on us today. And yes, we are. We did pick up some cars last time we were at the junkyard. Let's see what we got. I know there's a way. I gotta figure it out myself. Alright, so anyways, in parking, we picked up a Hammerdale Starrell S. We didn't get the Thora edition, but this is literally one of the fastest cars in the game. And the Orezzo Cortana is the Ferrari F50. And I forgot what the Oh, that's the Charger. That's right. Or Camaro, whatever you want to call it. So, we'll figure out which one of them we're going to start on. But first, you got to take care of your customers. So, let's go over here. And that way we all stay on the same path. I'm just only going to do the story missions because they are the ones that give you the box and everything else. So this says, hey, my name's Jonah. I was referred here by my neighbor. He's a car dealer. I hear that your repair shop has been up and running since quite recently, but you look like a promising mechanic. It is almost annual service time. My buddy doesn't seem to have any problems, but I'll leave that for you to decide. Please change the oil, filters, and fill missing fluids. I haven't had time for that recently. John mentioned that there was some tapping in the camshaft. I don't know what he meant. Perhaps it'll make more sense to you. Please take care of my car and have a good day. So he does want us to do an oil change, but we got some tapping noises coming from the engine, and Lord have mercy, look at this car, it's dirty. So customer satisfaction, the customers done dropped off the car. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move this thing to our car wash bay. We'll go ahead and wash it on up, courtesy of Driven by Christ Auto. That way you don't be bringing trash inside your shop too and dirtying up your floors. We're going to do the interior. Couldn't really see much going on in there, so I guess the interior was pretty clean. But alright, so now we're ready to get it up here on the rack. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get it picked up. As we know, we got to do an oil change, but first we need to diagnose this engine. Okay, so this engine is a BFM 4-cylinder. It is the turbo model. This is a pretty fast little car here. But anyways, let's go ahead and click on this engine, get our diagnosing tools out, and we're going to start with, go ahead and give them a full report. Remember, all this stuff gives you XP, so do the fuel pressure test. Pretty close to 100%, so nothing come back red in that whole thing. So we're good on fuel components. So let's go to I didn't say anything about the tires, but let's go ahead and give them the report. Get your XP. That way, whenever your customer picks up the car, they know. Now, I don't know why it didn't show me this list on the fuel pressure test. I don't know why it went past that. But anyways, tires are fairly good. No need to worry about them. Wouldn't be a bad idea to check the tire pressure. Alright, so we're going to check all the electricals in the car. Let it run through its tests. Alright, so everything's good in here. Alright, go back to diagnosing tools, and now compression test is what's going to give us what's going on and what these tapping noises in the motor are about. So let's see what we're up against. Ooh, not looking good. Ooh. So we have a bad camshaft in this car. The lower end of the engine's good, so we're not going to have to pull this engine out of the car. This is going to be in-frame work. Go ahead and get the OBD2 scanner out. Go ahead and scan the vehicle and see what else it's got to say. Ooh, we got some bad spark plugs and ignition coils. So we're going to go ahead and do a tune-up. It looks like the ignition coils are going to be pretty good. But we got some doo-doo spark plugs and one bad ignition coil. You know, while you're in there, go ahead and change out the ignition coils and spark plugs. So while we're doing that, we ain't gonna leave them with a half-tailed, you know, tune-up job. Whenever you're doing tune-ups on real vehicles, you know, a customer may only be able to afford one ignition coil, but whenever you try to do it, you want to do them all. Do the ignition coils and the spark plugs at the same time, because if one's going out, more than likely the others are going to be right behind it. So, alright, so let's get this thing up in the air and get the oil change done. We're going to go ahead and drain the oil first. And I guarantee you, since this car's got a bad crankshaft, whenever you go to change it, normally these plugs on the bottom of the oil pan are magnetized. If they got a lot of oil or a lot of metal stuck on that drain plug, that's normally a bad sign. So, alright, we got the oil out of here. Let's get up underneath here and get this filter changed. Okay, so we're gonna put that, let's see. Okay, so 65% on that filter. We are going to, wow, there goes my wife calling me. Hold on just a second. Alright guys, sorry about that. My wife needed a picture of our Thanksgiving grocery list, so give me just a second. I gotta take that picture for her. And we'll be right back over here on the car. You're going to have stuff like this too in a regular job. You're going to be sitting there trying to work on a customer's vehicle, do your job, and you're going to have your wife calling you up about the most weirdest things and interrupting you. But that's okay. That's just part of life. Be glad that she's out there doing it for you and you're not having to do it yourself and stop your work and do all that. So we're gonna need an oil filter. So let's go on over here to the O'Reilly computer where we order our parts from. Yes, I sponsor O'Reilly. It's not really, but I do get a lot of parts from them. But we need an oil filter. So you can tag the item, but I'm gonna try to do it, you know, more realistically. And you know, it's a blue one. It's for an I4 4-cylinder, so we're gonna order one of them. Boom, O'Reilly's gets our parts here fast, son. They're there. Alright, so we're gonna put this new oil filter on, because you know it's got a bad camshaft in it, so it's probably got metal all in the motor. Alright, so let's get this thing dropped down. Alright, so we're gonna go into here. We're gonna have to pull the ignition coils, and we're gonna have to pull a lot of this timing gear stuff, so go ahead and pull the coils out. We know the spark plugs are shot. And whenever you're doing a timing belt job, or you know, you're having to pull the camshaft, it's good to pull the plugs out of the motor anyways, because it makes the engine easier to turn down here. Whenever you put your wrench on this crankshaft, it makes it a whole lot easier to turn, because your engine is not up underneath compression. So go ahead and take that. We can get this belt out of the way. Normally there's a special tool that goes into here that sticks into these holes that lock down this harmonic or this crankshaft pulley, where you can get this nut broke loose. It ain't that easy, believe me, I wish it was. But anyways, we got the crank pulley off. We're gonna pull this timing belt cover off. Alright. Wow, we got a lot of failed components back here. Failed timing belt tensioner. I'm gonna need a new one of them. An idler roller. Oh, we got it wanting us to get the belt out of the way. Looks like it's got a bad belt too. Pull that off. Water pump visually looks pretty good. Alright, we got the cam gear on here, so now we're going to work up here to the top side of this motor. Pull the valve cover off. Alright, so it looks like our other cam is okay. It's just this one right here that's bad, so we're going to have to pull our VVTI off. What this does is it electronically advances and retards the cam. That way you get best performance of both worlds. Because on old school cars, you could tune a cam to have more acceleration, more power, and low end torque. Or you can tune it to where it had more high end power, but you sacrifice torque. Well, with this, it gives you best of both worlds. So you can't go wrong with it. Alright, so now that we got that undone, go ahead and pull our chain off so it don't fall on the floor. Alright, so now we're going to start pulling these cam caps off. That's what we're fixing to remove, is this camshaft. Go ahead and mark that cam in our inventory. And pull that off. Now we can pull, we're going to mark that cam sprocket. And hold up, let me, we're going to get that idler roller, and we know we're going to need a tensioner. That's fine. I should have marked it whenever I was taking it off of there, but anyways. Alright, so we got that out. We can go ahead and slide that camshaft out. Alright, so let's go on over here to our computer and let's start ordering these parts. Alright, shopping list. We know we're going to need the camshaft. Now, before you do this, before you start buying parts, see if you can't take it over here and repair the stuff that is broken. Oh, looky there. It let us repair that camshaft, so we just saved that customer $250. That means more money that we just made off of that job because we only spent $21 remachining that camshaft. So hey, there you go. We're going to need another cam gear because you can't fix those. Idler roller, we're going to need that. And we're going to go into our search and we're going to type in tensioner. T-E-N. Alright, so we need this belt tensioner right here. That's your timing belt tensioner. Alright, oh, that was the other thing, the timing belt. So, whenever you don't know what belt to look for, go back into your inventory. See, it says serpentine belt A, and then you can click on your touchpad, add it to the shopping list. Go back to your computer. That way O'Reilly's knows what they're sending you. $35 for a new timing belt. Boom, you're ready to go. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. While we're in here, we're going to go to tune-up. We're going to go to spark plugs. This is just a courtesy of my shop. I run the NGK performance spark plugs, which is what these are. I know it says BRK, but they're really, so normally you can get a case of these things. You can get about 30 of them. Now, different cars have different spark plugs, but luckily in this game they all use the same spark plug. So in your case, you can go ahead and order the max, which is 50. I know it costs $1,000. You know what? We ain't going to do that. Let me back out of that. We're just only going to get what we need. We're going to give them the premium spark plugs. With that money that you saved them, that means you can... Oh, that's another thing. See? Boy, I'll be forgetting everything. It's going to need an ignition coil, too. So, go into here. We're going to type in coil. Same way you would have to do on a real computer. Well, great. Maybe it is in electronics. Yeah, it was in electronics. So we're going to go ahead and give them... Remember, the other three were still good. This customer's trying to save as much money as they can. So we're only going to buy one ignition coil. Alright. So let's go ahead and put this bad boy back together. So we're going to put this new camshaft in. Brand new, 100%. That was the one we rebuilt in our machine shop. Now remember, these things are going to have a torque sequence. You're going to go from inside to out, back and forth. Here. Then you'll go over here to this one with a dual torque technique where you torque it down to half what the torque specs at first are. You'll do all 4 of them. Then you go back over it and torque it all the way down here, 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 here. Alright, so now it's telling us we can put the valve cover back on, but before we do that, we're going to put our timing gear on here and get our timing belt on. That way we can see everything, because this is very crucial as to getting this right, because if this belt is off one tooth and it is a interference motor, you're replacing that engine. You're fixing to have to pull the head off of it and replace the valves because you bent them. New tensioner. We was also able to clean and fix the cover up. They're going to be happy about that. Put a new rubber seal around it. That way trash don't get up into it, and dirt and rocks that can potentially break the timing belt. And if you break a timing belt going down the road, more than likely it's going to bend valves. So anyways, go ahead and torque that down. That normally is torqued down to like 100 foot-pounds of torque, maybe less. But they're very tight. They are extremely tight. Go ahead and slap our belt back on. Our pulley tensioner. Alright, now we're going to move up here to the top side of the engine. We're going to go ahead and put the valve cover on. That way we don't drop nothing down in there with the camshaft. And now we'll put our spark plugs in. Because on these spark plugs, they got a little metal smash ring on them. And they love falling off the spark plug and falling down into the motor, where you got to fish it out with a magnet if it can be done. Sometimes they fall down into places where you can't get them out without disassembling the engine, which really becomes a nightmare. So go ahead, put that new ignition coil in. The rest of them are pretty good. I really don't like putting in yellow parts, but you know, the customer can't afford it. So there we go. Alright, so it wants us, let's check the service order. Whoa, okay. There's a lot of stuff that they're wanting done. Now, see, since we should have took this car on the test path after I did the change brake fluid with the old. Okay, so we're going to be vacuuming out all the old fluids and replacing it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get our tools out. But the first thing we're going to do is, now that we've done changed the engine oil, we're going to go ahead and put new engine oil in. That way we can crank the car up to move it. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you count to 5 after that bottle turns over, it's normally pretty good. Let's see what we're at on the dipstick. Yeah, look at there, right where it's supposed to be. Alright. Alright, so we're going to leave all this old fluid in here, and we're going to move this thing to our test path, which is what we should have done in the first place. Yeah, look at there, we got a whole new shop. So, yes, test path, engine can't be started. Now, I wonder why that is. It's got a fresh battery in it. I didn't know this car wasn't running. Alright, let's take this off real quick. Maybe a dirty air filter. Alright. So luckily we got, oh, you see what we forgot, guys? See right there. You wouldn't have really forgot this in real life. You would have noticed this. But anyways, yeah, we got to put our VVTi cam phaser on there. So Anyways, put all this back on. Put that back on. It's going to have some sealant around it, some import gray. Alright. Now, we can... let's add the part. Come on, guys. Put our air filter cover back on. Alright. Now, it should let us get on the testing path. Yes. With this, we'll be able to identify exactly what brakes are bad, what is good. Ooh, front ones are horrible. Back ones ain't very much better. Now this is going to identify the bushings. So we got good bushing, good suspension up front. Alright, so in the back is where probably is where the bushings is going to be. Alright, yeah, rubber bushings. Yeah, you can see all the failed stuff. See, this is going to tell you exactly where everything is. Since you've identified this, you go into your, see how it shows anything you've checked with your OBD tool. See, it shows it up as red is where you got to replace the bushings. So we got some subframe bushings. Yeah, we got the control arm bushings. Alright, and bad brakes. So let's go ahead, do the magical spin. Alright, get the car back on. Oh, did it again. Wow. Get it on rack 1. Alright, let's get this car up in the air again. Even I forget stuff. But anyways, we're going to do a full brake job on this. We're going to try to turn their rotors and everything. So go ahead, pull off these brake calipers. You can't fix pads, so you're going to have to replace them. Alright, and we know for a fact, right here, we're going to add that rubber bushing to the shopping list. We'll pull that out. Pull that bushing out. Alright, we'll go up here and get this tire off. Pull this caliper. Okay. Everything else looks pretty good suspension wise. Now back here is where some crazy stuff was going on. Caliper looks pretty good. Brake pads are gone. We're going to go ahead and turn these rotors too. Remember, customer satisfaction. You got the equipment to do it. Go ahead and pull this bushing. Whenever we order these bushings, we're going to go ahead and order a case of large and small rubber bushings, because pretty much every customer car that comes in is going to need some type of bushing replaced. And these are the most likely forgotten ones, even on a real vehicle. Oh, hold on, let's get to the pads. Or nope, caliper. Pull these pads off. Pull the disc. And from visually looking, if you need to, you can go into examination mode and you can check. You don't see nothing glowing red, so you know you done got, you know, all the bad bushings off. Alright. Alright, so let's go into here. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and charge their battery while we're going into this is all customer satisfaction. You know, if you're wanting your business to take off, you know, and if you were trying to make Jesus happy, you'd want to do this. Do extra stuff for your customers. Throw that battery on there. Don't cost them anything. Go over here and go turn their rotors. Uh-oh. It looks like one rotor ain't gonna make it. I'm And while that's going on, we can go over here and see if we can't fix the brake calipers while we're waiting on that to lathe. The more damaged they are, the longer it takes over there, so. But it does look like we're going to have to replace one of those rotors. We was able to fix all of the calipers and stuff, so take it, lathe. Yeah, guys, if you're really around one of these, you better make sure you're wearing your safety glasses, as this thing will blind you like there ain't no tomorrow. And what this little strap does, I know you see it hanging in the background, and you see it on the rotor. As this thing is cutting, it makes a very loud ringing, harmonic, metallic ringing noise. And what that is a silencing belt. You put that on there and it keeps it from making all that noise. Other than that, I'm going to be over here in real life. I ain't getting no metal caught in my eye. Alright. No more. So, we may have to order a thing for it. So, let's go ahead. We're going to start putting this back together. And as we notice that we need parts, we're going to do it. So, one of the rotors was so bad we couldn't do anything with it. So, we're going to need a brake disc. It's going to be ventilated. So, let's go on over here to our parts menu. Back out of here, regular parts, go into the thing. We know we're going to need, go ahead and buy. Just buy 50 of them. I know, well, it ain't going to matter. You got $361,000. This keeps you from having to run back and forth and buy these little bushings every time you come over here to the computer. So small bushings do the same thing. We've already got brake pads. So we're going to open this up. We're going to go to disk. Just type in disk, because that's going to bring up your brake disc. So brake disc ventilated. You know you're going to need one of them. These you don't have to really keep a whole lot of them in stock. Later on, once you start making more money, you can keep as many parts in stock in your own shop as you want. That way you don't have to keep ordering stuff. But we'll go ahead and get this thing back up in the air. That way we're not having to bend over and work on a car. Everything's in front of us. Alright. Put that on. We got new brake pads already in our inventory. See, we didn't even have to order that, because we already had it. New wheel cylinder. And we'll put the tire back on. Now remember, while you're up here, don't forget to put this bushing in. And you got this other one over here that we took out. Alright, we're going to jump over here to this knuckle. Slap this brand new rotor on here. Which, anytime you get new rotors from a Rally's or any parts place, make sure you clean them off with brake cleaner, because normally they got like some sticky oil all over them that keeps them from rusting. But it is not good to have on there whenever you're putting new brake pads and all that on there. It'll keep the vehicle from stopping, and it can actually warp the rotor. So just spray it off with brake cleaner. Alright, we got that on there. Let's move to the back. Now, remember, you got these bushings. Go ahead and slide these bushings in and put the bolt back in. Put the new disc on there that we turned. Get these pads on there. Refurbished rotor. You did that, courtesy for the customer. Put the tire on. These also have to be torqued down to a certain foot-pound. Each vehicle is different in real life, so everything that you're doing has a torque sequence. You know, hanging your pads inside the brake caliper. This brake caliper, the bolts that hold this in right here, they have torque specs. You want to get all the torque specs to your vehicle. They're really important to torque them to the correct, because if you over torque them, you're going to break stuff. If you under torque them, you could have stuff coming apart going down the road, which could potentially be a lawsuit for your business. I mean, if I took my car to a shop and they're supposed to do everything professionally and a tire falls off and it hurts somebody in my family, yeah, you can probably expect it to be sued. So do it right the first time and you don't ever have to worry about it. Alright, so they said that they wanted all the filters changed, so we're going to go ahead and, now, courtesy of my shop, I get the good filters. We get the performance filters because these filters are reusable. Let me make sure I did get the right one. Oh yeah, that's right. Go into your inventory. There we go. It's a I4B. So we're gonna buy that filter. Get them the good stuff. I4B. They may notice a little bit more pep in the step in their car. You know, air filter ain't going to make that much of a difference. It could help a lot in gas mileage. So that's basically like a K&N air filter. And we're not going to forget that battery. But alright, so let's get our suction tool. Since we would have had all the brake lines broke loose anyways, let me get out of this. This mode is so annoying. Alright, suction tool. Let's go ahead and pull out all the old brake fluid. Alright. I'm going to go over here to our reservoir. Suction tool. I'm going to pull it out. We're going to go to here. We're going to pull it out too, since we still got the suction tool available. It's only got a little bit in there. Alright, so now that we've backed out all the fluids, what we're going to do now is we're going to put fluids back into it. Brand new fluids. Now you see that little line coming up right there. That's it. That's an optical illusion. I know it does look like it's full before it actually gets full, but you just gotta look for that more defined line. Because it'll say the job's uncompleted with it looking like that. Took me forever to figure that out one day. There we go. Alright. Did we ever get the brakes? Now we're gonna refill the brakes. And normally you can gravity bleed brakes, but they take a little while, so they got a little special tool that you can use to pull the brake fluid to the brake calipers quicker. It's called a Mighty Vac tool. You know, especially if you're having to do this by yourself and you don't have another person to help you. So all new fluids, brakes are done, rubber bushings are done, and all we got to do is pick this battery up. Alright, we'll go ahead and put it back into the car. Should be 100%. Boom, look at there. Happy, brand new, resurfaced, charged battery. So everybody's going to be happy with this. Extremely happy. Clean car. You've redone their whole braking system and everything. So now we're going to go ahead, move the car back to the test path, because you want to be able to show the customer that you did fix these problems. And apparently we're missing a rubber bushing from somewhere, and I guarantee you it's probably this one. How did I know? Which luckily you can reach up underneath the car and put this one in. So yeah, we didn't have to put it on the rack. Yes. Alright, now you remember our scores before. They were what our numbers was. Watch this. 100% on brakes. You can't get better than that, guys. So you know they're going to be happy now. Alright, suspension jumped up all the way into the green. 82%, that's good. Same thing for the back, about 82%. So there we go. They got a new updated list of all the stuff that is there. Customers gonna need that list. You can go ahead and check the alignment too, customer satisfaction. Make sure that everything's good. So we can go ahead and move this car out in front of the shop and have it ready for the customer to pick up. So whenever they get here, they're gonna see that this car is clean inside and out, all fluids, everything that they asked to be done is taken care of. We got one more thing, so let's make sure everything is done. Everything has got to agree. So we got one more thing for them. We're going to go ahead and do a dyno test and make sure the car is performing like it should. The factory horsepower was 308 horsepower. That's a lot of horsepower for a 4-cylinder factory. This car right here will scoot. So here we go. It's got a lot of torque. Alright, so not bad. It's only dropped a few horsepower over the mileage that it's got on it. It's 290 horses to the wheels, and factory was 308. Let's go see what the mileage is. I think it should be able to tell us. Okay, so this one don't have the mileage on it, but somewhere in this display screen there's probably a way that you can bring it up. So I'm pretty sure this car's got, you know, probably about, since the timing belt was wore out, it's probably got about 80 to 90,000 miles on it. Oil changes, depending on what oil, can be done anywhere from 3,000 miles up to 15,000 miles before you change the oil. It all depends on the oil in the vehicle. So I would go in there and inform my wife Jamie so they can come and pick up their car, because they're going to be extremely happy. So go ahead, call up customer, let them know, hey, you made $2,260 on this car. You got the job bonus, the task bonus, story order, other tasks. So you made quite a bit of money on this job. Alright, so customer was happy. They come and picked up the vehicle and probably did a burnout on the way whenever they left. Alright, so let's go back into here. Alright, so see how many minutes I done got into it. We got 43 minutes in. So let's go ahead and move one of our cars from the let's check out our case. Yeah, anytime you do story orders, you get cases. So let's grab this case. Alright guys, if I was doing a live show, I would ask which one y'all want to pick. So we are going to go right in the middle. Hey, there you go, barnyard location. That's money right there. And we're going to go to the right. Alright, got some XP. Don't really need that, but it would have been better to get scrap pieces, but we're blessed with what we got. We got a barnyard location. So we're going to go ahead and add that barnyard location to the map. Alright, so there was quite a few parts We're going to go over here, make sure we couldn't fix anything. Can't do anything. Can't do anything. Alright, so we're going to take this, we're going to go out here to our scrap bin, and we're going to go ahead and scrap all these old parts. Go for the green section until you get good enough to try to hit the blue. That way you get the maximum scrap for what you're doing. Unless the blue is next to the green, I wouldn't try to go for it until you get better at this. We ain't got very many of these. Oh, got the blue one. Alright. Oops, see? See, I wouldn't have got that if I was really trying to. Missed the green. Alright, so we got the maximum scrap that we could get. Our scrap is up to 1,201. Alright, so we finished that customer's vehicle for the day. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our parking area. And which one? We may start out with, before we go with the fastest car, we're going to start out with the Camaro. We're going to move it. I know it kind of looks like a Charger or a Challenger, but it's actually got a GM motor in it. And this one was a supercharged GM. Oh no, it just says V. Oh, ooh, this one's even faster. This one's got the really fast motor in it. 703 horsepower factory. So we're going to move it to the garage. Alright, let's go outside and take a look at it. Alright, so yeah, this car is definitely in a bad condition. A lot of the motor is gone, so we're fixing to really put in some time. Let's go ahead and move it to the car wash bay, and we're going to wash it on up. Alright, so yeah, it's got a lot of rust. It's going to need some welding done to it. This is a car that we did get from the junkyard, but luckily it does have all the tires on it, so we can at least roll it around. Let's go ahead and get it moved on rack 2. That way you're not blocking your customer rack. And we're going to go ahead and start pulling body parts off of it. Go ahead and get it ready for welding. That way we can renew everything. Go ahead and get it up. Get these tires out of the way. Now, since this is going to be one of our race cars that we're going to use to drag race with, we're not going to put these tires back on there. But the tire sizes are going to be important. You want to try to stick as close as you can to the original tire size, but since this one does have the really fast dual overhead cam V8 with a supercharger, we're definitely going to need some wider tires than what it come with factory in the back. Yeah, buddy, y'all get ready to be using some PB blaster on this thing. With as old and as junky as it is, we're going to go ahead and get this. We're going to move it to rack 2. And let's go ahead and do our body work. There you go. Brand new frame. Went ahead and did all of our frame work. We're gonna pull out everything on the inside of the car, because we're actually not gonna even have a back seat in this car. We can move our welding machine now. So now that we've done that, we're gonna go ahead, get it up in the air. I don't think this car would still have engine oil. Nope, obviously it don't. It don't even have an oil pan. So yeah, this engine's completely demolished. But what we got to do is we got to pull this drive shaft hit it with the PB. I don't know why I'm way back here, but the camera on here, guys, is like really crazy. I don't know why it does that. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the transmission off. Got another one over here. Alright, so we got the transmission off. Alright, we're going to lower it back down and we're going to pull this engine out of here. And then we'll work on, you know, stripping the rest of the car down. Because we want to get all them old parts off. Back two. Go ahead and pull out the engine. Alright, so we got the engine on the roller crane. We would be taking it over here to put it on this engine stand. And there we go. That's what's left of the motor. Alright. We've rolled the engine stand right back over there into the corner. There you go. It's over there. Alright. So, now that you got your engine on the stand, we want to go ahead and start breaking down the rest of the body components. And we forgot a window. Yeah, a lot of destroyed items. You're going to get a lot of scrap from this car. But we're going to try to save everything that we can. Fix everything that we can. That way, you're not having to spend your money out of pocket to buy new items. Alright, go ahead and knock this tie rod loose. And they have a special tool that gets these things loose called a ball joint separator. Because these things love getting stuck in the spindle. They don't ever come loose this easy. I wish that they did. Alright, we'll go ahead and pull the strut assembly out of here. And remember, guys, you got to pull those strut assemblies apart to work on them. So, very important to remember. We may be able to rebuild these calipers, I don't know. If they're too far gone, you may not be able to. Go ahead and pull the wheel bearing out of the back. Undo the hub. Knock the ball joint loose. Tie rod in. It's basically like a ball joint. The tie rod in is. Let's get this camera doing right. These things love getting stuck. Whenever they wear out, you gotta have 2 wrenches to hold it down to keep it from spinning, and it's normally a pretty big fight on them end links. Alright, now that we got that, and take the knuckle off. Take your inner tie rod loose, and then you'll be able to go up in the car and unhook the rack and pinion from the steering column. Take your sway bar off, and now we're going to drop the subframe, which are held in by these bushings, which in real life the bolt would come in from the bottom, not through the top. And you would slide in the bushing from the bottom too. See, that's the reason why I like getting cars from the junkyard, guys, because most of this stuff is already taken apart on it. So we got the whole front end tore down. There ain't nothing up here, no more, besides maybe a fuse box, part of an air filter. That's not really important. We'll get that later. Take this old dirty muffler off of here. Alright, let's get over here on the brake assembly. Remember, if bolts don't come loose, spray them with PB Blaster or your WD-40. Go ahead and pull the drive axle. Pull the wheel bearing. Wheel bearings don't come out that easily neither, just letting you know. They're another fight. Alright, there we go. Pull. Alright, so we got 5 minutes left. So I normally try to do an hour-long video. That way y'all can see some stuff getting done. So we're going to stop from this. Now remember, a lot of these parts that you're pulling off, you can fix them. So don't forget to go over here and fix what you can on your parts, because that means you don't have to buy new ones. New ones cost more. So most of the time you can get these fixed right off the bat. So don't forget that. I'm going to do all this off camera because I know everybody hates it watching me do that. So, and also remember to turn your rotors if they can be turned. Do all your work stuff on the side, you know, don't forget that. And probably what I'll do is on the next recording, you know, we'll grab a customer vehicle. By that time I'll have the inventory cleared out. We'll fix everything we can and then scrap the rest, and we'll pick up on this where we left off. So anyways, that's it for today. You know, we done worked on a customer vehicle. We done started working on our drag car. And we're making good progress down here at Driven by Christ Auto. So I hope y'all enjoy. I hope that y'all take time in y'all's daily life and to pray. And remember, little guys, Jesus is always with you. Pray to him and talk to him. He likes hearing from you. You're not going to wear out God or Jesus by praying to him. They love hearing it. So if you need something, just remember, pray for wisdom, pray for others, and then pray for yourself last if you got a need or a want. So he always will take care of you, but don't be greedy in your prayers. Don't be like, oh, I need this, I need that. Think of others first. Even pray for people that are mean to you, even your enemies. Pray for them so that they may be better and not a bad person. Remember, the only reason why they are your enemy is because of the bad that they done towards you. Everybody's done bad. So you got to be able to forgive them and pray for them. But anyways, guys, that's going to take care of this episode of Driven by Christ. I will catch y'all next time. Bye.